Disclaimer: the images and music pulled from various sources are not of my content in any way whatsoever. The storylines, conversations, and usage of Foundry are all of my own creation. Please support the original artists and creators. And please don't strike me. Welcome, gang, to the first... Well, this is technically the first session, but this is also session 0. So, this is what it looks like. Got a little light effect going on. But, if it's session 0, we're not actually starting the school year just yet. We actually have to do a tradition that is in most, well, typically anime, but also an initiation of sorts.
Yay.
I have to quickly, okay, it's moving everyone over. There we go. Welcome to the Summer Festival. I forgot my notes. Hold on a second. We're going to start off with someone and their brother going to the festival.
Oh my god, not me. Why are you doing me?
Let's go back to your home. Let's go back to the mansion of sorts. So, you and your brother are at home, and you got a note that you were accepted to Noisewell, and your brother's has not come in yet. You don't know why. It's taken some time, but it has not came in yet, so you don't know the status of it. But
how many days is this before the school year?
I'd say the way I was initially doing it, I would have said a week, but I'm gonna say a month in this case. Your mother and father return home for the special event to make sure you guys are off on your way to the summer festival. It is known as Gangor Summer Festival, but they don't really talk about Gangor anymore, so it's just known as the local summer festival. You and your brother are getting yourself together. You guys would share a room. It's a big room, obviously, but you guys would share the room. While you're getting ready, your brother comes up to you. Hey! Sis, are you ready for the festival?
One moment.
Please describe Sylvania for us.
Sylvania Donovan. Alright, so she's in the bathroom, getting herself ready. She's doing up her hair in one ponytail on the side. Silver hair. She has red eyes. Pale complexion. Just like any vampire, as she is just brushing her teeth. And doing what anyone would do to get ready.
So,
now, I don't know how to describe exactly what clothes she's putting on. Basically the one in the picture.
Just a semi kind of vampiric formal outfit that, it's not...
Red, black, white.
Since you said you were brushing your teeth while you're in the restroom, you hear a very loud knocking on the bathroom door. Hey! Hurry up in there! You gotta get to the festival!
Almost ready, Dad.
You can hear from just the volume of like the stomping on the ground that he's really trying to get you guys to hurry up. You eventually would come out of the restroom. Your dad is about 8 foot, just, very buff man, nice long beard. He has like an outfit kind of what you're wearing, but like there's like tears in it just from how much this man is like absolutely ripped. Your mother says education's important, so we gotta get you going to this festival. And he takes you guys back into this is like a nice mansion. It's like there's lots of hallways. You do get lost sometimes, or at least the little brother does. Oh yeah, by the way, what's the little brother's name? Just so I
Alexander Donovan.
Alexander. I would say you guys would meet up at like the front gates, like not outside, but like the ones to enter the mansion. You see your mom's like just a nice short stack. I'd say like 5'3" in height. Who's just kind of wearing like just a casual, like, motherly attire. It's actually very not as vampiric, but she is very much a vampire. Probably has, like, the longest fangs, even compared to, like, the father and stuff. And just says, "Oh, sweetheart, your very first summer festival, right before you go to high school. I'm so proud of you." And just kind of, like, rubs and tries not to mess up your hair because she understands, but does a little bit.
Thanks, Mom.
Don't forget to take care of your brother. We're still waiting to see the invitation come in. We'll let you know if it comes in during the festival.
Oh, of course. I never lose sight of him.
Yeah, let's go, sis. Yeah. And he starts. Little Alexander just starts booking it outside the gate. So you're gonna need to catch up with him. He's not running so fast that you're like, oh no, I'm gonna be concerned about it. But enough for you to be like, all right, if I don't hurry up, I will lose him.
Sylvania's just sighs, and then it sighs a little bit, and it's just like running. It's just like, wait up, like running after him.
So while Sylvania's on the way to the festival, let us go to the Noctua household. What would you... So, first off, I mean, given the imagery, please describe your character. But also, what is Noctua in the family doing?
So you want me to describe him first, or?
Yeah, definitely describe the appearance first. We'll get to the rest after.
He has very dark blue skin that has like different hues of blue and white stars across him. His face looks like that of an owl masquerade mask. Obviously, the holes in the mask would be where he sees from.
Of course.
The top and back side of his head appear as if they have like feathery kind of texture. He has a humanoid torso, except with what looks like a feathery texture on the sides of it. Forearms and lower side of his upper arm being that of like owl talons.
Truly a nightmare in some aspects.
His legs look like that of a fawn's legs, however, deer-like instead of goat-like, along with a deer tail.
Alrighty. I guess asking a question to your character as that, do you think your parents would be supportive of you going to the festival?
Most likely, he'd be ignoring them, and just to get out of the house, he would go to the festival.
So, and just to quickly say to the audience, all the bound are mute and have to speak through other ways, just something that's important for later. So in this case, I would say that, honestly, I don't even think I have to really give it a scene. I would just say that Noctua just sneaks out, probably heard that the festival was going on for however long it was, and then planning it out, and then probably just getting and going without really thinking about it twice.
Yeah.
Let's get over to Tess Flora. So yes.
It's me. I'm Tess. It's me.
It's me. Did she sound like that?
Yes. No, I'm kidding.
Please describe a bit of Tess, and also the home of Tess, because we talked about your character a little like looser at the end. Just kind of describe Tess and the livelihood she's been living up until before the festival.
As someone in your campaign, I for sure have to think more about the background. But it's alright. I kind of had a vague idea of how it'd be anyway. Tess in her favorite leather jacket, right? Is getting geared up. You know what I'm saying? And her aunt is just like, Tess, come on, you're gonna be late to the festival. And Tess is like, what if there's a bunch of gross people there, with their germs and stuff? I don't want to go there.
There's gonna be a lot of gross people there. You gotta deal with it. How are you supposed to... You want to go to a high school, but you don't want to deal with people. You gotta choose one, and you're going to high school, so you gotta get used to it.
Like, as much as I feel obligated to uphold the teachings of you know what I'm saying? I think
Say
people...
his name. His name is Artemis, and you're being real disrespectful right now. Say it.
As much as I like upholding the teachings of Artemis, I hate germs. And what if there's rats?
There's not gonna be any... It's a fucking festival. There's not gonna be any rats. The only rat that might be there is you if you keep not hurrying up at this rate.
You don't know that.
By the way, while this is going on, you're very ever so slightly being pushed just closer to the door. Because you are ready to go. You're just like, oh, I don't want to talk about this. So you do notice, like as you're kind of talking. In fact, no, I'd say you're perfectly aware of it happening, and you're like, this is the only way it's gonna happen of getting to the door.
What is she gonna do? You know what I mean? Tess, while being like sternly yet lovingly pushed out of the door, kind of just sighs, exasperated at the fact that she has to yet again venture out and deal with how the icky reality of being a high schooler.
Look, you got accepted to Noisewell. It's one of the better in the state. You didn't go to Hoocrux, or I don't even know any of the other ones, but they all sound like weird bowling alleys. You got to the one that actually sounded like a place to go. So, I'm not saying you gotta be grateful, because high school does suck. It's usually not good. I've also not been here, so I don't know. But you're gonna know, because you're gonna be great.
And Tess kind of smirks to herself softly. Aw, thanks, TT. I guess maybe it won't be so bad. Even though you didn't really sell me on high school being fun.
If I sold you on high school, that would go against what I know. And thank you for calling me TT. I'm glad you understand. I don't like auntie. It sounds weird. Or ant. I'm no goddamn insect. It's just TT. That damn straight. But you get on out there. It'll be worth it. I promise. There's lots of nice people. Maybe even a nice boy for ya. Look, if you gotta bring a boy home, it's all right. Look, you have the spare keys. It's fine. Do what you gotta do. But that's at least how I know you're out there. If I don't see shoe tracks when you get back of someone that I don't know and I guess would be dirty, if I don't have anything to clean later, we're gonna have a talk.
Tess, being pretty dark-skinned, is still vibrantly red after that word vomit of bringing a boy home. While she doesn't know herself very well, she could bring anything home. And with that, she tucks her head down and leaves, because suddenly the inside is a lot more concerning than the outside.
All right, so last person we're gonna go to before I really dive into the festival. So, let me paint the picture, because this is different. V is not at a home. In fact, right now, he's in like an office of sorts to the head of the Save the Kids program. Okay, V, we have to talk. Do you know why you're here?
Yes, I know why I'm here, old man.
But don't you call me old man, you piece of shit. We gotta get you.
Hey, don't call me a piece of shit, you old bastard.
Oh, don't call me the old bastard, you bastard.
Get on with what you gotta say. Let me get out of here.
Okay. You're right. I don't like wasting your time, and you've been a waste of my time. So look, we gotta get you to that summer festival because you've been accepted, and accepted pretty well, I should say. You did good on those. I don't even know what they had you do. I had Cassandra work on all your papers, and you notice that there's like a nice 5'7" lady. Who has like half black hair, half red hair. Of Asian descent, who's currently working on some papers right next to the old man. Yeah, he did really good on his stuff. You should stop giving him so much shit, sir. What'd you just say to me? And then she just kind of goes back to work.
I light a cigarette and look at the guy and I'm like, yeah, you should stop giving me so much shit. And then I blow the smoke in his face.
Oh, look, I already have popcorn lung. It doesn't get worse than this. Look,
Jesus.
We gotta get you to that festival, because, look, no one... And he calms down for a moment, and he's like, look, I'll be honest, V, I like you, and that should be very concerning to you, because I still treat you like shit. But...
Besides, I like you too, old man, but just stop it with the sappy bullshit.
Look, we gotta get sappy because, look, at Noisewell, like, anyone that you've been friends with here, none of them are gonna be at Noisewell. You're gonna live there for a year, and realistically for you, if you stay there all 4 years, you ain't gotta come back. You'll have some money, some notoriety, women, or men, I don't care. You know, do whatever you want.
We already know I'm going for both.
And I would have a problem with that, but my dads were very good people, so I would be very confused otherwise. So, today's the festival, we gotta get you going. So, Cassandra is gonna guide you throughout the area, try not to get in too much trouble. And Cassandra looks up like, what, sir? You didn't tell me about this. We need someone to keep him on watch. At least once he's at Noisewell, he's their problem. He already signed the work, but this is a separate thing.
You can see me getting angrier and angrier the more he talks, and he snaps the cigarette between his fingers, and he looks at the guy and he goes, "You're telling me I'm gonna get to go to this fancy festival, a whole bunch of hot chicks walking around, and I get to have Cassandra babysitting me?
Look,
Not gonna slide."
Look, Just call her your sister. You're already wearing the helmet right now. You can just put it on her, lower it, and it's fine. She's one of the best trackers I know, so I know she won't lose you. Whatever. Make it up. Get her. I don't care. It's not my Problem. Cassandra's actually, roll a notice check, because that's in your character sheet.
P-brain.
Okay, that's a success. You notice that Cassandra, she's very, very much blushing at what you presume is the prospect of her kind of being with you during the festival. And she's around your age, and you're aware of that. She's older by a couple of years, but it's not like, she's not double your age. Maybe like 2-3 years max. You never asked.
Yeah.
So, we gotta get you to the festival. So, you... And then just looks at Cassandra. Cassandra, drive the good car. I like you, so I want you to get a better impression than some of the other schnaps that are also going to the festival. Oh, and by the way, someone, one of the, it's not one of ours, but, watch out for someone with the last name Oniverde. Just watch out if you happen to hear it. They're, from what I've understood, they're looking for a fight, but not in a good way. But it's like, I think it's like siblings though. Just, you might run into one of them. If you do, and then he just kind of looks back and forth. You see he presses like a button on his table, and like a camera that you saw in the top left corner turns off for a second. If anyone gives you trouble, I mean, I know you're gonna do what you're gonna do, but just know, if you have to come back here, if there's like warrants or whatever, we'll say just claim insanity. I've already a couple people already do it. We kind of just pick up whoever, do what you gotta do. But I heard he's a real punk from some people that I know at the festival. And also, nah, I'm not gonna give you all that. Get going. Yeah, get going. So then Cassandra leads the way, just slightly. It's not even as much of a walk as much as it's kind of like shuffling her feet. Like, you really never notice, like, one foot going too far ahead of the other, so she kind of looks like her arms are just constantly swaying. It's a little disorienting, but it's just how she moves around. And you guys get in just a nice car. Whatever car you visualize right now, because I'm not good with car names, and if I say one that's too expensive, it would be improper. But just a real nice car.
Cassandra, let's say we ditch this festival and go find ourselves a nice little hotel.
With a persuasion roll, that I think that's double check mark.
I don't know why I did that, but
I'll explain that later. But what I'll say that you see on that roll is you see for just a moment. You as you say that, like, mostly you're just kind of talking at her, but then for a moment you look her in the eyes, and you could see that, like, she. When you first were having that conversation with the old man in that room, she was just very, like, she was just kind of pale-faced, kind of chilling. You've never seen someone so red you almost could assume they were like a demon. You'd think they were of something going on there. She doesn't say anything and continues to the car, and you could see it once you guys are in the car. You take the passenger seat. Her hands are very deeply shaking on the wheel. But then you can see she takes like a deep breath. Her body like stabilizes, and then she drives. So, now I would say we are properly at the festival. Let me throw on the casual festival music, which is just what I named that track. All right. So, everyone's arriving to the festival at like a decent time, and we are going to revisit and return to Sylvania, who, when you get to the festival, it's pretty. I chose this image because it didn't have anime characters in it, because that would look a little too much. But this one is, it's obviously still quite Asian inspired. But it's just a festival with like nice colors going on. You kind of see every color on the spectrum. Fireworks are going off in the distance. Like the sidewalk is very deeply cleaned. It almost looks like new tile was put in some places. There is like a nice stream that you see while you are walking on the way there, or as you're chasing your little brother. And as you approach the front of the festival, what do you think that you and your brother would want to do first at the festival? You have not really been told what's there, but what do you think Sylvania and Alexander might be looking for when they get here.
So, all right, let me turn this music down so I can hear you better. All right, so Sylvania and Alexander. Alexander would be ahead of Sylvania, getting like Sylvania would eventually just like reach Alexander. They'd both stop kind of at the entrance, and they both look around, just like looking up, like wow, and just in awe, looking at the just all the pretty colors, the atmosphere, the lights. What time of day is this?
I would say it's about the time that it looks like in the picture, where it's about like 7 p.m. The sun is pretty far down, but it could go a little bit darker. So you're getting there right as it seems like the festival is about to like really pop off.
Okay, so all the lights and everything are really popping out.
Yes,
So-
very distinct.
All right, so just looking at how everything is just absolutely amazing. Sylvania just kind of looks around, and Alexander is just like, "Oh look, let's go this way," and is just caught off guard by just everything, and basically drags Sylvania with him.
Roll notice.
All right.
Okay, so I would say that you don't notice anything really
Yeah,
out
it
of the
begins.
ordinary. So as you guys are just kind of walking around, exploring, you guys are just seeing all the pretty lights. You go to a couple stands. Your dad gave your mom gave you, I'd say, about $30, and since you technically embody both Sylvania and Alexander during this, you know that your dad gave Alexander about like 25. So you can kind of just see a whole bunch of the stands, and things are relatively affordable. So I would say that you guys probably go to a stand. You probably just go and like snack some sort of sweets. What kind of sweets do you think? What kind of sweet do you think Alexander would get?
Well, what kind of sweets are available? Like, are we talking like an ice cream parlor? Are we talking about just candy?
I would say that there's many funnel cakes. There's like some weird stuff you never heard of before. Then there's like that. There's always like a Dippin' Dot stand somewhere. Just like all sorts of it's kind of a bit of everything. It's not like a carnival, it's a festival. It's a very thorough event with a whole bunch of things. You also see that there's like a very like, not organic candy store, but a place where they make candy. Like they do it in there and you can watch the whole process go on. All sorts of various things like that.
So, in which case, Alexander would go for something he hasn't like heard of before, just out of being like, "Oh my god, I want to try that." And Sylvania just would get the same thing. I'd say Alexander would be captivated by just the process of it being made. Like, whoa, kind of just like captivate a little bit, while Sylvania's just generally looking around while sticking close to Alexander.
As you guys come in and explain that, you want something you haven't tried before, he's like, I got you. And he just starts kind of whipping up something that gradually you see like, as like, looks like brownie batter in it, has like a little bit like, he throws like an ice cream scoop in there, but like, it does a weird thing where like the ice cream like melts into like the brownie batter, but not entirely, like it stops. It seems like the ice cream like hits a certain like point and then just stops entirely. You see all sorts of like interesting spices and stuff going into it, and it's just all very glorious kind of like dessert being made. V sadly realizes that they are probably, if this is a hotel, it's a very festival looking hotel, as she did do her job and go to the festival, and she just says, look, he's, and
He lights a cigarette and he looks at her. He goes, "I was just kidding, Cassandra. I know you got to do your job. Let's get a move on. Don't stay too far away."
Cassandra just kind of nods aggressively, just kind of happy that you clarified it was a joke, even though it wasn't a joke. And then just kind of, and as you go in, you kind of see a weird man, just kind of like in a full suit, wearing a very distinct mask, and he's just kind of standing at like the front gate. He's on his phone, and he's just kind of like flicking around, not really acknowledging you, but you happen to see him. He specifically sticks out compared to like most of the other audience because of how it's just a full black suit. But under that, it's like a weird like Neapolitan colored like shirt, and you can see like all three stripes go in like the middle section where you'd see the undershirt. So you happen to see a guy like that, and I would say you get a flashback to a prior conversation you had with the old man, where the old man was like, "Well, listen, the principal wears a very specific attire, and you really can't get in trouble with him because we need you to be in this school, but also you need to be in this school. No one else will accept you, and we don't have a learning program here. We'd have to kick you out. So you gotta behave if you're around him." And then you snap back, and you realize that though you don't see the face, the weird colored shirt was a detail that stuck out in that conversation because you thought, a Neapolitan colored shirt? What kind of pussy? You know, like just something that you're like, what is this? So you happen to see who you presume to be the principal.
I'm gonna walk up to him and I'll extend my hand to shake his hand and be like, "Oh my gosh, are you the principal of Noisewell?" I'm gonna have this sly smirk on my face.
He looks. He gives a look to you as he like moves, and you can see like the mask he has on. He has the part where his eyes can get shown. Right now are a very weird crimson red. It's a very deep color, and this is a detail you did not remember hearing from the conversation, which you could presume maybe you forgot about, but very likely you're like, something is a bit weird about that. And he shakes your hand, and he's like, "Well, hello there, young man. You must be, you look familiar. You must be, Save the Kids program, right?"
Yeah, the smirk on my face widens and I go, "Yeah, V."
Is that, I've wanted to ask, but I don't like being indecent in the office, but between you and me, does V stand for anything, or is that just the whole thing?
It my full name started with the V, but I don't really like it anymore. I'm not a big fan of my parents, so I kind of just go by V now.
And, that's fair. I mean, we've had a lot of people that come to Noisewell. Some people flat out just run away, and then, some people flat out just run away, and then they're like, "Yeah, my parents suck, so I'm here now. Will you accept me in the school?" And we're like, "Are we gonna say no? That's a rough situation to be in." And we say, "Yeah," but that's actually what helped develop the program. You're here for presumably you're here for the festival, right?
I sigh sadly.
Well, the festival is pretty good. Specifically, I don't know if you've ever heard the legend of Gangor, but I feel like if you knew why there was a celebration here, I feel like it might excite you a little bit more.
Have I heard the legend of Gengar?
You have not heard it. You've heard like some weird like stories. Like you've heard like canker, which you're like, oh no, it's probably like canker sore, maybe like a show I watched as a kid. You've heard a lot of weirdly similar things, but nothing that's specifically Gangor.
V smiles and nods. Yeah, I love the story of Gangor.
Oh, so,
You really want to listen to some old man ramble about the story of Gangor?
Just decided to lie. Yeah, I fuck with that.
Lie straight to the principal. Bold man.
Imagine somebody else say no.
Man.
Yeah.
roll persuasion. I'm not gonna. I'll say. I'll say persuasion.
Oh fuck.
I mean, you could have just told me you didn't want to hear the story. Like you didn't have to. You ain't got bullshit like that, my man.
If you laugh, I got a lot going on. I have a security guard following me right now. Basically, I don't have a lot of time. I'm sorry.
No, I understand. In fact, actually, I know you, young lady. And then she freaks out for a second because she has not heard the description of the principal, so she's just like, why have you heard of me? Why do you know me? I'm like, please, I'm the principal.
It's my job to know.
You can, miss, you can call me Sistros, but, I am, you can just call me Principal Apollo. He just sticks out a hand to shake her hand. She politely shakes, but still is very much like, Jesus Christ, who is this guy? But hearing that, she starts to be like, oh, that fits something I read in something once. I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna stop you and your fun, but, V, I want you to say, like, in terms of all the scores, I mean, I'm sure you've known some of your fellow, people that have, that didn't do as well on the exams to get in. and also especially the performance exam. That was quite something to witness. And from what I've understood, you come of demi-born descent.
That'd be nuts. Yeah, that's about right.
Well, if it makes you feel better, so do I.
You know the size of my dick, too? Oh.
God.
Is he allowed to say that?
Let me think how I want to go about this. I definitely should have made like characters so I could roll for them, but I did not in this case.
It's too late now.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, he's just like, did you write that down? Because if it was in the file, I read the files because I had to, for specifically to save the kids stuff. If you didn't put that in the file, or if
I'll put it in the file next time.
you don't have a friend who would have wrote something like that in the file, right?
Don't put that in the file. You're supposed to help kids.
Because I feel like, because you saying that, like, very funny. Like, I feel a lot of glee inside me. But when you say that,
I do feel like. Hang on, out of character. What's that one guy's name who was talking to me beforehand?
the old man.
Yeah.
You just know him as old man, like legit. Like the moment you met him.
Gotcha. I only refer to him as old man. Yeah. Sounds right. The old man might have done something like that. Guy's a character.
You mean Marcus?
Probably. I've never cared to learn his name.
Marcus specifically would have known your dick size and then, pardon my language, and then wrote it in a file?
Yes.
Yeah, sounds right. We were really competitive with each other. Mine was bigger than his, just for reference. Old man was kind of not happy about that.
Sometimes I get reminded that I'm a principal of a school and I probably shouldn't be having these conversations. You probably should just get on in there. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear some of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend I didn't tell you any of that. Have a nice night.
You as well. So you just go on in.
Am I gonna have to sit next to me? Is that what's gonna happen now? And these kind of conversations are gonna ensue? Is this what's gonna happen now?
No, it's alright, bro. We can't have a holy fuck, what is this shit called?
Conversation?
A campaign. No, we can't have a campaign with an adult character talking about his dick to kid characters. He just can't.
It's already happened.
Uh-oh.
I mean, technically, my character
It's
does
education.
actually qualify.
We're gonna quickly move over to Tess, who Tess arrives, also experienced this, and I will say that
Sorry.
as you go in, you notice V's nice car pulling in like the distance because you come in from a different entrance. But outside of that, as you go in,
Is that a Honda Civic?
you
Sorry,
know what? Roll common knowledge.
My common knowledge, one of my weakest traits.
I don't know what a car is.
All right, let's do it. Let's go.
You
I
are
win.
pretty confident that's a Honda Civic. What would Tess be like looking for at the festival? Now I'll say Tess would have heard a bit more, because TT definitely wanted you to go, so she tried selling you as much as possible. You heard that there's like a nice ballet performance, but it's not just ballet because it's boring. They said it's half ballet, half advanced combat. But TT also didn't know what that meant, so she just brought it up that it also was a combat demonstration. There was also a weird thing where, apparently in the advertising, they said there was a guy who was going to juggle, but they thought that was weird that was in the headlines. But then they said they were juggling 200 balls at once, and people were like, oh, I gotta see this now. So you heard all sorts of weird advertisements like that, but you also heard about the food. I'll say on the entrance that you see, some of the lights are still being turned on since the festival just started getting into gear. So yeah, what would Tess want to find in a festival since she barely wanted to be here to begin with?
So Tess, after double taking the car that Beep strolled up in, kind of clutches her jacket a little bit, right? She looks around and she's just like, all right, let's get this over with. I guess I'll go see the guy juggling 200 balls.
I'll
She
say,
says it like,
Sorry, I
it's him.
literally just like stopped thinking for like literally like 3 minutes. So I just came back to. I guess I'll go to the guy juggling 200.
yeah, for sure. And Dante, roll a notice check again.
Hut. Fuck.
You don't notice shit.
Jesus, I got a 1? Holy fuck.
Well, no, you got it too. The wild die was a 1.
I know, but my lucky my get out of jail free card was a nat 1. What the fuck?
Yeah, actually, there are critical failures in this, so you're glad it's avoided in this case.
Yeah.
You as you're kind of, walking about, you actually run into a guy, who's about how tall would you say Tess is?
Like 5'6". Yeah.
Okay,
A little
5'6".
taller than the average girl. Yeah.
You run into a guy who's about the same height because it's high school, so they still are growing a bit. Is this the guy want?
He's not getting any taller than this.
That's oddly intimate. Let's I'll just leave it at the same music. You're into a guy, and he's like, "Hey, what's your problem?"
Oh God, not one of you again. Oh no. She says that out loud.
What is that supposed to mean? Huh?
What did I do? What's wrong? What's going on?
You bumped into me, you absolute troglodyte.
Wait, would this be happening in the general vicinity of V?
All right. Well,
no, V is far away.
let's I'm gonna go ahead and roll intimidation as fuck.
Not as high as you, so I'll say it lands. How do you intimidate this random, weirdly voiced stranger?
So Tess grabs him by the collar, and she's just like, "Look, man, I don't really want to be here. You came out of nowhere. Let's just call it even, and not make this something worse than it has to be." She stares him in his eyes.
Look, I'm not scared of women. You're just very tall for your age. Fine, whatever, get going, you shitbag. I'll let you off this time.
Spit on him.
Tess, despite all of her instincts saying that she could probably rinse this guy, decides not to do anything rash on her first day in front of superiors from the school she's trying to attend, and continues on her way.
And I'll say Noctua definitely. Well, actually, roll notice. But I'm gonna say roll notice twice. Higher number wins. Why was that? Okay, I think it's time I hold on. I think it's time I explain something, because this is actually. So, here's the thing. One of the key aspects of Savage Worlds is if you roll the max number on your die, you roll again. She just did that twice and nearly did it a third time.
That's funny as fuck.
And I added my modifier. Okay, I'm gonna say Noctua sees everything that has gone down with every character. You've seen everything that's gone on with Sylvania. You've seen V talking to the principal. I'll even say you saw the car pulling in like a good mile before it actually arrived where it was. You're just tapped into like the festivities and the energy, and this is why like you had the understanding that your mother probably would have been a little bit more restrictive about you going, because she knows that if you know too much, it will not be good, and this is her worst nightmare exemplified in a roll. I'll give you a notice roll per event that you want to have seen happen. You just let me know when I describe something. You're like, I want to know if Noctua sees that for the rest of the entire festival, because that's insane.
Oh, cool.
That's 25. It's. Oh my god. Anyway, with that, and my +2 was the most unnecessary thing in the multiverse right there. Jesus Christ. So, getting back into it, so what does because after saying what just went on there, what does Noctua do when he gets to the festival?
Dude that was being all uppy with Tess, he would see this, they go punch the dude in the face, and he
Oh, let's go.
do so.
Go ahead. Go ahead. My god, you get another raise.
Praise.
Okay. First off, I'm just gonna give it. Well, I'll do that after the session. So as soon as I'll say like actually Dante, I can't say this probably happened too long from each other. Dante, you roll a notice to see if you notice this happening. But as you roll that, I'm gonna describe what's going on. No, okay.
No.
So
I
as
got
Tess
two threes.
walks away, all of a sudden, I'm gonna do this from Jonesy's POV because that is his name.
Got
All
snubbed.
of a sudden, after that, he's like, okay, I gotta be better. No, I'm not scared of nobody. Nothing can go wrong with me. This is me and my family's birthright. All of a sudden, this absolute creature of the night just comes out of nowhere. I'm gonna say you climb up something for a moment, jump up top it. As you're flying down, you
Nice
smack.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, you fly down, you smack him in the face, and he responds by falling back, and he is hold on, I'm gonna roll.
I'm just
roll
trying to
something.
eat candy.
Yeah, coming back to that, this candy's looking really good. I'm
Literally, Alexander and Sylvania would just be like sitting together eating it.
Yeah, they're eating this. The candy, like, it's so layered and like fluffy on your taste buds, but like it has a very, very minor like cotton candy melting consistency, but not like where it does like it's kind of like sand but delicious in my mouth. It kind of just like melts once it hits like a certain saliva percentage. So it just goes down really easily, and it's great. Like you don't feel like you'd be super full on it, but you feel like this is all you need of this, and it's great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quickly let me see. Oh, that's also not the right character. I'm just going for another roll because of how
We
crazy
are
this is.
1 hour in. A character's talking about dick size. Or two of us are trying to
I was acting like you knew everything about
One
me.
person appears naked. Almost.
Yeah,
appears
not
naked
everything has to be
somebody
rolled.
while-
I'm just gonna let it land on me. So yeah, he's fully knocked out, just on the ground. You smacked him
Jeez.
so hard from the angle you hit him at that he's just on the ground. But right as he goes down, he's like, and then just falls down completely knocked out.
You did tell us to be experimental with this one.
Do
Like,
I
you did
need
tell us
to
try
roll
things.
notice to hear? Like I'm gonna replay the sound you just made for me.
This too.
Look. Tess walks away, not even 5 feet away, and you're telling me I can't hear.
Yeah, I'll give you one more.
Can I get a notice roll too?
Yes, but with a -2 for yours.
I gotcha.
Yeah, that still hits the target number. So
Okay.
even
I'm
from
not
like
a part
as
of any of this.
okay, great. Yeah, you're in a building.
Well,
I'll say that you
I
hear the building. I'd say.
I
Just the
would
candy.
say that I would actually want to hear it, considering how Sylvania is, but I don't even know if that would be possible.
While
But yes, I would want to hear it.
and walk over, I'm also gonna steal from the guy who got knocked out.
Okay, so wow.
Jesus Christ!
I have a lot of explaining
First
to do.
off, should I even attempt to hear this?
Let me see what happens first, and I'll let you know. So not at this moment, but let's see what happens because
Just
there might be a
enjoying
reason
some
to.
sweets, you know.
So V, though you heard it from very far away, you just hear. I'll even say due to your demi-born origin, you just hear very slightly, but just enough. Just very lightly, off the, and then you just you look in the direction, and you're just curious on what the fuck was that? Because remember, a festival is going on, other noises are happening, so if you can actually hear it, there is something that's going on. And then for Tess, you turn around and you see this man mid-flight, and to be clear, he only goes like from the angle. Actually, you see when Noctua is still in the air, landing the strike, and you hear the like the right beginning of the noise, and you're like, that's oddly loud. You turn around and you see floating naked creature Noctua knocking out the person who just gave you trouble. And then,
This ice cream is great.
Tess has a bit of a vacant look. She looks at Noctua and then the guy, and just like, what the fuck?
I'm just gonna
That's-
quickly let's see. Okay, wow. All right. So yeah, he's out. He's out cold.
She looks at Noctua, still hovering there, and then at the kid, slumped.
For the record, he wouldn't be hovering. He would be standing.
Oh, okay, still
Yeah,
standing there.
he's landed. Yeah, Noctua has landed now.
Yeah.
For sure.
And for the record, he's 6 foot tall.
Great.
Great.
To know.
So yeah, right. This is just like
Actually,
this
I want
very
you-
tall figure.
I want you to roll common knowledge.
All right.
'Cause I'm curious to see something.
Let's do it.
Did I say my height yet?
Okay, great. All right, this will be fun. So,
Did I
Critical
set the
failure.
height?
Of course, I'm the one that gets it first. This is great. This is good.
okay, so what Tess sees? Tess at this moment does not remember the description of what bound people look like. You think this man just got assassinated. You don't know who this person is. You don't know what they are. You think this person just flew out. You don't think he's dead, but you think that this person went to kill. Because you just don't know that this is a race of people. You think that this could have been some sort of assassination attempt.
Well, I took code of honor. I have to fight you now, Celeste.
Can I hear any of this?
Hold on. No, first, before we get to... Now, Tess hasn't done anything yet. That's just what goes on in her head. Soon after you have that realization, V comes over and steals from the man who got knocked out. So let's go in V's
wait.
POV for a moment. V... Yeah, no,
Which,
V...
which
Wait, hold on,
Noctua will not stop this.
Real quick on... So
Just
as...
for the record, he just
at-
watches. He's just looking over at the people.
So I'll say V's POV now. V notices Tess looking back, notices Noctua standing in front of the guy who's slumped, and yeah. So I would say you guys are currently like right next to each other.
I just walk in between them and then like crouch down and start searching his pockets for his wallet.
And I'll say because
It's
of
always
that,
great how students get to meet each other for the first time in class. You know?
and I'll
Always
say
great.
I'll say because of that Nat 1, you think that these guys are working together.
For sure.
And not rather than assassination attempt, you just think that they're just trying to steal from him.
And I would just like to put a pin in this. I just want to say, Colin, since you weren't there, with the other campaign that we did for shits and gigs, right? My character, like his introduction was, all right, I'm going to this bar. All right, I want all of your drinks. All right, give me your money. And then I killed him, right?
Nice.
Now, I got killed twice in that situation. I don't think it's going to be nearly as a negative for you guys, but I just like the duality of this. All right, so Tess is understandably...
Before we
Okay.
actually, we're gonna go back to that in a moment because, Sylvania and Alexander finish up eating these delicious weird treats.
Alright.
And I'll say real quick, roll a notice roll as you're exiting. As you're exiting the candy place.
Oh my god. So, where's my notice? There it is. Roll that.
No.
One day I'll get a good roll.
Okay, so you just think it's a lovely day at the festival, and you just happen to be walking around. And in fact, actually, you bump into someone, and that person, you look up who's quite a bit taller than you. How tall is Sylvania, by the way? Just have mental image.
Sylvania is 6'2".
In high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
crazy. Did not think.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
a weird inverse world where Dante is the shortest character, and that's incredible.
Yeah.
Wait, real quick.
Yeah,
how
no, I
tall-
was like, I didn't give you a height, did I? Because it was like, I was thinking about the height over time, and I may have given it to you. So I was looking to see if I did, and I didn't. So I'm like, all right, well, I've decided on what I wanted now, so I would have updated you if I already gave it to you, but I didn't see that. So I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a reveal, isn't it? The second I get asked.
Oh, so real quick, just to ask, how tall is V? Just so we have all this out the way.
He's just 5'9", just average guy height.
Okay. This is wild. So actually, because you're 6'2", you actually run into a guy about the same height as you, who's wearing a black suit, Neapolitan shirt, weird mask, crimson eyes, who's like, "Oh, sorry, young lady. Wait a minute. Are you Miss Sylvania?
Yes. Sylvania Donovan.
Hello, it's a pleasure. I am Principal Apollo of the Noisewell. Well, you may have heard about it. You may not read the newsletters. Not everyone does, or should they? Most of that stuff is not useful for the kids. Just the adults on getting in and stuff. But anyway, yes, hello, Miss Donovan. And then he reaches out his hand to shake your hand.
Sylvania reaches out her hand to shake his hand. Says, "Oh, it's so nice to meet you."
Yes, I ran into a fellow student who will be of your year. He is. We actually have a bit of a. If you don't mind me giving some exposition, he is from the Save the Kids program, which is. I don't know if you heard about it in the newsletter. Which, just to say, character, you wouldn't. The Save the Kids program is an initiative that we have, so we could help people that were in unfortunate situations. Growing up, deceased parents, I mean, you know the deal, or maybe you don't, and hopefully you don't, because it's an unfortunate situation. But from what I've read on your files, your family is fine, and let me guess, this one is Alexander, if that's correct.
Alexander speaks up before Sylvania gets a chance to speak and says proudly, "Yes, I am Alexander."
Hello there. How tall is Alexander?
Alexander is 5'7".
Okay. And he just ruffles
Which
his hair.
is tall, considering he's much younger.
Yeah. He's like, "Why, hello there," and ruffles his hair a little bit. Aren't you the excited one? We've had such a vast array of students this... And then roll... roll the equivalent of insight, which I think... What is that?
That's what we notice?
No, it's common knowledge.
Yeah, I'm gonna say roll flat spirit. I'm gonna say roll flat spirit in this case.
How do I roll a flat spirit?
You just click on the word spirit, I think. And if it doesn't work like that, I'll know very quickly. But I think that just works.
Just spirit.
Yeah.
Roll. I will get one check right one day.
So you don't see anything in his face, but I'll say even with a failure, I would say that you can tell that for a moment he has something startled in his face, but then he's like... Then you see, and I actually will say... okay, now do a notice roll.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw a +2 on it, whatever you get.
Alright.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So,
yes.
You notice that he has tons of rings on each and every single finger, and he's like, hold on, let me give you something. And he goes into his pocket, and he pulls out a very weird looking ring, and it's a ring with a little it has a very weird kind of spectral thing inside of the gem inside of it. Looks like the outside of the ring looks normal. There's no weird writing or anything, but the actual gem itself has a weird spectral, I won't say undead energy, but it has a very above life, probably something closer to the Bound, where it's just raw magic. He's like, tell you what.
Handing it to Alexander or Sylvania?
No, he's currently just holding it out, and he's like,
oh,
and he's kind of just, you know what, young Alexander, I would, oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot that I established that he knows. So, okay, young Alexander, how about, here, take this ring. And he just puts out his hand with the ring to Alexander.
Alexander looks at it for a second before taking it and asking, "Ooh, what's this for?"
I believe that at our school, sometimes we make mistakes about things, and in this case, I'm addressing it before I have to. And then just kind of looks at Sylvania and just kind of goes and whispers, I noticed that you and your brother applied. I'm sorry to say that Alexander did not qualify, but he seems like a very good spirit. So I'd rather us take the gamble on if maybe our qualifications in certain situations is too much. Do not let him know, because it's not... You will notice when the paper comes in later. But without describing it, that ring will handle that situation. You have a very interesting year.
Sylvania, upon hearing this, is kind of stunned. Eyes widened a little bit, and it's just she puts a hand to her chest, like hearing that information, and then like Sylvania can't help but just like whisper back, like, "How? What?"
It's, I mean, it's, there were certain things that, I mean, you guys both sent in your performances at the same time of the combat category, and there was something that the people that do all of that, from what they told me, they just, I believe, just looking this man in the eyes, that they were wrong. I'd rather would take the gamble to see. And plus, that ring, you guys are quite close, I'd imagine, correct? Given how you guys, your entries were so intertwined, it's also why I was confused about the results. But you guys are quite close, correct?
Very close. She starts to sound a little frustrated, not at him, but just frustrated at the situation.
Well, then I will say, and then I would say that at this point, Alexander, would he have put on the ring now?
Alexander would have immediately put on the ring the second he took it.
You feel a very spectral kind of like hit, like you almost feel like it was like a punch to the gut, but it went through you into your heart, but not damage, but you just feel like something went through you for a moment, but also then it went out. And then Alexander feels nothing. As the principal,
But I feel that.
yes, it is very clear. And you even feel like within your eyes and like your view and your peripheral view for a moment, you just see like a weird kind of like very slow crawl light, blue light, kind of like not flash, but just in the peripheral, just kind of like you're looking through binoculars and you can only see like what you see ahead. For a moment, blue light fills that up and then it goes away. I think
Sylvania stops to blink a couple times in the middle of their kind of conversation. It's just like, whoa, what? Then she like looks between the principal and then Alexander and notices that the ring's on, but doesn't think too much of it.
that ring will come off at the end of the year. But I have a feeling, given the young spirit I see in this young man, he probably won't notice that for a while. I will not explain more, because you'll know it will not activate until school starts. But, if you want to see in your spare time what's going on, from what I've understood, you come from a very, enriched family, decent money to them.
Yes.
I'm sure one of them will either know someone who can check it out or whatever. But do not be concerned. It is nothing that will hurt him. It was something that will give him the right opportunity, but in a way that the school won't have to recognize. And then he just kind of pats you on the back and says, "Can't wait to see you this year. Hope you enjoy." And then walks away. And I'll say real quick.
Sylvania would, like while he's walking away, would say, "Thank you, Apollo, sir."
Apollo gives a full bow and continues to walk away. Roll another notice check.
Lane is now concerned. Notice?
Yes, and this I'm gonna give you a +2 on this one. No need. Okay, so at this point, okay, so real quick, to see what you notice, back in the perspective of Tess, what is Okay, so now we're in Tess's POV. Obviously, we know what she thinks. What's Tess doing right now?
One more time.
I'm essentially just asking. Now we're back in the perspective of Tess, who, if you remember, thinks that this is a very bad thing happening in front of her.
What the fuck? And then, upon realizing that she has no idea what she's looking at,
I work at the school?
of course, doesn't know anything about his murdering or anything, but she does feel some sort of odd bond between the two.
Do you know of the child that person beat up?
Where's... What? I can't see him. What'd you just do?
Funny, I'm sitting right next to Tess, just catching up in time. You see this principal guy, Neapolitan shirt, full black suit, just kind of enjoying the show, and he just kind of just looks over, nudges, and says, "This is weird, right? Like, I'm not the only, like, I'm a weird guy, but this is a lot of effort for this."